In this video, I'm going to be ranking the classic Ben 10 aliens from not so great to totally awesome. Keep in mind, all of these aliens are awesome in their own way. I just want to chat about them all and give my 2 cents on which ones are the best. So let's dive in and see who comes out on top. Coming in at number 10 is Ghost Freak. Ghost Freak was one of Ben's most powerful aliens. He could fly, move things with his mind, make himself invisible and intangible, and even possess other beings. That's pretty impressive. But as cool as Ghost Freak was, there was a major downside. The alien warlord Zizcair was inhabiting the Omnitrix's sample of Ghost Freak species, and he slowly influenced Ben's actions while he was in Ghost Freak form. This made him really dangerous to use, as Ben couldn't fully control him. Eventually, Zizcair escaped the Omnitrix, taking the Ghost Freak form with him, making him a risky choice, even with all his power. Moving on to number 9, we have Ripjaws. Ripjaws is a pretty unique alien in Ben's arsenal. He's a total aquatic beast, with jaws strong enough to tear through steel, and legs that can morph into a mermaid-style tail, giving him some serious speed in the water. He's perfect for underwater missions, and he can hold his own against some pretty dangerous foes. But Ripjaws does have one major drawback. He's pretty specialized for underwater missions, so he's not really useful anywhere else. If he stays on dry land too long, he'll dehydrate, and that's not good. So while Ripjaws is a great alien for certain situations, he just doesn't have the versatility to compete with some of Ben's other options. Moving on to number 8, we've got Stinkfly. He's probably the grossest alien in Ben 10's arsenal, and that's saying something. He can squirt a nasty sticky slime from his eye stalks, which is pretty gross. But he's got a few other powers up his sleeve too. He's got razor-sharp stingers, wings that let him hover, and he can even secrete toxic gas. It's safe to say he's not the most pleasant alien to be around. But despite all these cool abilities, Stinkfly isn't the most useful alien Ben has access to. There are other aliens in the Omnitrix who can do similar things, like Heat Blast and Ghost Freak, but with more raw power. So Stinkfly isn't usually the first choice when it comes to alien transformations, and he doesn't get used as often as some of the other aliens in the original series. Moving on to number 7, we've got Upgrade. Upgrade is definitely one of the most interesting-looking aliens in the Omnitrix. He's a whole swarm of nanomachines, working together to form a single alien entity. He's got the power to wrap himself around machines and take control of them, upgrading them to suit Ben's needs. He's also pretty handy on his own, able to form weapons out of his own body and shoot lasers from his eye. But Upgrade really shines when there's machinery around, or when he's up against robotic foes. When he's in those situations, he's a total beast. But when there's no machinery to upgrade, or no robots to fight, he's not the most useful alien Ben has in his arsenal. So while Upgrade is really cool and useful in certain situations, he's probably not the first choice for most heroics. Coming in at number 6 is Heat Blast. Heat Blast is a pretty iconic alien for Ben, since he was the first one he ever transformed into. He's a fiery being with a super cool voice, and his pyrokinesis is surprisingly versatile. He can fly, melt steel, and even create massive fire tornadoes. And he's not just limited to fire powers. He's also got some geokinesis going on, meaning he can manipulate Earth as well. But Heat Blast's power comes with some drawbacks too. He can be pretty destructive if he's not careful, and he's vulnerable to enemies that can resist fire. So while Heat Blast is a powerful ally for Ben, he can be a bit of a handful sometimes. Still, he's a classic alien that Ben will continue to rely on for a long time. Now we're getting to number 5, Gray Matter. Gray Matter might not look like much, since he's small and doesn't seem to have any obvious special powers. But the Galvan race that Gray Matter represents are known for their incredibly high intelligence, which means that when Ben turns into Gray Matter, he gets some serious brain power. He becomes much more capable at deduction, technology, and engineering, making him a real asset when it comes to problem solving. His small size also comes in handy in certain situations, like when Ben needs to escape from a tight spot or be stealthy. But Gray Matter does have his limitations. He's not very useful in a fight, since he doesn't have any super strength or speed. Still, he's an essential member of Ben's alien arsenal, and he'll continue to be a go-to choice for Ben whenever he needs to think his way out of a sticky situation. Up next is number 4, Accelerate. Accelerate is the go-to speedster for Ben, always ready to zip around and take down enemies at blazing speeds. Accelerate doesn't just run fast, he actually manipulates friction, which means he can stop and start on a dime. His reaction times are also super fast, so he can make quick decisions in dangerous situations. And to top it off, he's got a built-in visor that keeps the wind out of his eyes, so he can see clearly while he's zipping around. He is a great choice for Ben in a lot of different situations, whether he needs to chase down a villain, outrun a hazard, or just get somewhere fast. He's fast, agile, and always ready for action. What more could you ask for in a speedster alien? Coming in at number 3 is Forearms. Forearms is one of Ben's most frequently used aliens, and for good reason. He's simple but effective. He's a huge muscular red alien with 4 powerful arms, making him one of Ben's strongest aliens. He can hold his own against just about any foe, no matter how tough they are. Not only that, but Forearms is incredibly durable. He can withstand extreme temperatures, radiation, and all kinds of physical attacks. He's got a simple design and some really useful powers, which is probably why Ben relies on him so often. Forearms is like the reliable go-to alien that you can always count on to get the job done. Moving on to number 2, we've got Wildmutt. Wildmutt is a really impressive alien, but unfortunately he doesn't get used by Ben as much as he deserves. He's got strength that rivals Forearms and agility that's almost as good as Accelerate's. He's a total all-rounder, but Wildmutt's real strength lies in his powerful senses of smell and hearing. Even though he doesn't have eyes, he can use his senses to map his environment perfectly and even sniff out invisible enemies. He can run, jump, and burrow with ease, making him adaptable to just about any situation. But the one drawback of Wildmutt is that Ben can't speak while he's transformed into him, which can make communication difficult. Still, he is a versatile and impressive alien, and he's definitely worth more attention than he gets. Finally, at number 1, we've got Diamond Head. Diamond Head is Ben's most overpowered alien from the original series. He's a total powerhouse. He's got a body made of diamonds, so he's incredibly durable, and he can regenerate from most injuries really quickly. On top of that, he's got a ton of offensive options too. He can form his body into all kinds of useful shapes, shoot diamonds from his hands like a cannon, and even trap his enemies in massive crystals that grow from the ground. Diamond Head was able to handle a wide range of environments with ease, whether it was underwater, in extreme heat, or even in space. Ben's foes had a hard time dealing with Diamond Head's powerful abilities, as he could use his immense strength to go head-to-head with most aliens and even trap them in solid crystal. It's no wonder that a being made of one of the toughest materials on Earth was considered to be one of the most powerful and memorable aliens in the entire Ben 10 universe.